How's everybody today? Good. Well, I feel really good about the bye week work that we were able to get in last week. Obviously, we started focusing on LSU last Thursday. Players are off a few days, so time to get back to really focusing on the challenges of what is basically you could view as a new season in terms of the teams that we have to play, especially this team that we play this week, who's one of the best teams in the nation. I think they're very elite in a lot of ways in terms of the way they play defense. Their offense is very efficient and really done a great job this year. The quarterback plays well for them. They've got good runners. They've got good receivers. Our record or any other statistic that you guys want to sort of bring up about all this game and all that will not affect the outcome of this game at all. Both sides of the ball are going to be challenged. So how are you going to face those challenges? And I think the best way to do that is with great preparation, great focus during the course of the week, so that you sort of develop the confidence when you get to the game, so you can, not be thinking about what you have to do, but be putting all your energy in what you have to do to execute and do your job well. I think Ed's done a really good job there. At LSU, they have some impressive wins this year against some really good teams. They're ranked nationally in turnovers gained, interceptions, scoring defense. I mentioned the quarterback, who has been, I think, a very, very effective player for them. He's a good passer. He's athletic enough to pull the ball and run it and make explosive plays rushing. And I think he's the third leading rusher on their team and has made some big plays. They got some very, very good receivers. So, they present lots of challenges with their runners and their running game, as well as their ability to make explosive plays in the passing game. Their defense, as I mentioned, is ranked, in the top 10 in scoring defense. Very athletic, very good front seven, do a good job of stopping the run. We got a really good secondary who leads, the nation, I think, in interceptions. Devin White is probably as good a linebacker as there is anywhere, and I know he'll be out for part of the game. This team has very good special teams, and they have really, really good specialists. So this team is really good all around. So every part of our team is going to have to get challenged and going to have to respond very well to the challenges in this game.
Starting right here with Ben. How did the way that you constructed LSU as a program and the success you had there kind of influence what some of your priorities were when you got here and laying out things here?
Well, I think that the experiences that you have wherever you coached, whether it was at Toledo, Michigan State, Belichick in Cleveland, I think all those things influence the way that you do things. And obviously, I never had any experience in the SEC, so those experiences were monumental, I think, when I started coaching in this league, not only in coaching against the good competition in the league, but also the recruiting part of it, the tradition of the league, and all those things being, exceptionally good. So I think I've learned a lot with all the experiences that we've had, but probably for being in this part of the country, in the competition in the SEC, whether it's playing or recruiting, probably learned quite a bit there.
Back in the left middle with Michael.
You guys have had, there have been several shutouts in this series recently. Just how defensive, what's been the defensive theme of the series the last maybe 10 years?
Well, they're a completely different team now, and I don't think this team's like any LSU team we've played in recent years in terms of, what they're doing on offense. They're going fastball. I mean, they're playing with tempo. They're a lot more open formations than what they have been in the past. They're not in the I formation, just trying to run the ball against people, creating a lot more issues and problems for you, the way they utilize the personnel. So this team is nothing like any team that we've ever played before at LSU. They also play with great intangibles when it comes to toughness and trying to finish plays, and the effort they're playing with and the competitive spirit they're playing with is, really, really exceptional, and that's why I think they're having success.
Coach in the middle, Cecil.
Coach, I'm sorry if I missed this. Could you update us on Jalen's status and what he will or won't be able to do this week?
Well, it's going to be day to day. Today he's going to start throwing again, see how he moves around in the pocket. He's making good progress. These things typically take, a week to 10 days before, a player starts feeling really comfortable. So we just have to see how he responds each day to the workload as we increase it through the course of the week and sort of go from there. I can't really answer that question right now. I just know what he's going to be able to do today.
Coach in the back with Marty.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Hey, Marty.
Saturday night promises to be a wild atmosphere. Always is down there. What about Tua's skill set and mental makeup will allow him to be successful on Saturday night for you guys?
Well, I think that it's important that players can stay focused on what's happening on the field. We played on the road a few times. Noise is obviously a factor anytime you play on the road, but in a game like this, in an atmosphere like this, it's probably going to be something that the quarterback and the whole offensive team is going to have to manage well and really stay focused on. So, I think Tua has demonstrated that he is able to stay in the moment in terms of being able to execute, and I think that it's going to be really, really important to do that in the atmosphere against the good team that we're going to play, especially the way they play defense. So there's a lot of challenges here, and we'll find out a lot about who we are, in terms of how we meet these challenges.
Back on the left with John Cena.
Could you elaborate a little bit on kind of what kind of stamp Coach Orgeron has put on that program? Because his hiring, it wasn't universally praised. He's had to kind of prove some doubters wrong.
Well, I think that it's pretty evident by the way they play. I think that the intangibles that this team plays with makes them a little bit different than the LSU teams that we've played in the past. Obviously, his toughness is evident in every part of their team. And they're playing with great effort. They're not making a lot of mistakes. They seem to be really together in terms of how they execute on both sides of the ball in special teams. So I think those are all trademarks of leadership, which Ed has obviously done a good job of, and are trademarks of what he wants to do. They play physical up front. They try to win on the line of scrimmage. They're doing more things to spread you out, but yet you can see that there's a great emphasis on controlling the line of scrimmage.
Coach, we'll come back over here on the right with Charlie.
How have you seen Savion Smith step up with Trayvon's injury, or since Trayvon's injury?
He's doing a good job. We keep working with him, and I think he's getting more confident, and he's doing a good job, and I think that it's going to be important that our corners really play well against their receivers. They take a lot of shots. They throw the ball down the field a lot, and they've been pretty good at making explosive plays. So, the corners will be tested in this game, and how they play in the game will have a big impact on the outcome of the game, no doubt.
Coach, I've only got one more unless somebody else has got another.
Just wonder, how have you seen the offensive line improve over the course of the season?
Well, I think that it's going to be a challenge in this game to get movement. This is the biggest, most physical front that we played against, and very athletic at linebacker and in the perimeter in the secondary. So it all starts up front, and for us to be able to get some movement on these guys is going to be very, very important to creating balance in terms of what we want to do on offense. And I'm not disappointed at all with the progress that we've made, as an offensive line throughout the course of the year, but I don't think there's any question about the fact that we'll be very much challenged in this game with the type of players they have up front.
Coach, there's one more follow-up. We'll finish with John Mayer.
You've had a lot of ball hawking defensive backs over the years and secondaries. What do you see from them that makes them so good at creating, negative plays for other?
Well, they're very, very athletic. They've got good size. They mix it up, quite a bit in terms of playing man, zone, different things, disguising, especially on third down. They drop 8 guys sometimes, so they fill up all the zones. Sometimes they rush a defensive back and drop somebody else out. So the multiples of what they do on third down, and their players do a really good job, I think, fundamentally of executing what they're supposed to do. They stay in really good position, and they're very aggressive in terms of the way they break on the ball, and they tackle well in space, and I think all these things contribute to them being an outstanding secondary.
All right,